loves, and welcome back, or welcome to if you're new. My name is Jay, the Juju Bay, and this is Jay's Divine Readings. So, for this reading, I wanted to do. I've been talking about it on my other podcast episodes. If you've listened to those, or if you're watching on YouTube, just the regular YouTube videos, about doing a message for the healers during this time of need. So. Um, that's just basically what this reading will be about. It's not going to be a long intro. I just want to sort of get really into the readings, but I wanted to do a pick a card reading. Now, unfortunately, I still have not been able to properly set up my camera. Everything is giving me a headache. So I will try to do my best to incorporate images to look along with. Um, as best as I possibly can, but um, just honestly, just put this on and vibe to it. This will be a pick a card reading, so I will have three cards, three piles for you to choose from. Before you choose a pile, I want you to take a moment and take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Hold that for about 3 to 5 seconds and do a slow exhale through your mouth for about 5 to 6, 6 to 7 seconds. And then I want you to talk to your ancestors, talk to your guides, talk to your spirits. Ask them to lead and guide you to choosing the correct pal for you. I need you to do that as many times as you want to until you feel that you've been properly led and guided to a choice. You can choose one or more or all of the pals depending on how you're guided. There should be something in here for you. After you've done that, just go ahead and click on a pal and we get started with your reading. So you have pal 1, pal 2, and pal 3. Let's begin. All right, pal 1, welcome to your reading. The card you chose was the beginning card. Beginning, that's very interesting. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do with this reading, I'm just going to pull some tarot cards to really show how you, those who pick this pal, are meant to meet the current moment that we're in, globally, politically, spiritually, societally, whatever moment we're in, both on a large scale, but also in your personal lives. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle the cards and let's see what we get. I'm also going to supplement this with oracle readings and affirmation readings, of course. So this deck. This deck is not giving me any breaks. So there you go. Okay. Okay. I do not use this deck often, so it's not bending as easily. All right. So I'm going to shuffle the cards and then I'm going to do a prayer, and then we'll fully get really into your reading. All right, ancestors, give me a card or cards for pal 1, the beginning pal. Okay. All right. Oh, that's how many that came out at once. That was 3 at once. Oh, pentacle cards. Okay. Wow. Oh, this one jumped out as well. The 10 of Swords. Oh, there's another one that jumped out. The 2 of Cups. Okay. Are there any more cards for this message? Ancestors, spirits, Great Spirit, and guides. I feel like there's one more in here. Give me one more card, please. Give me one more card. Bringing the microphone closer to my mouth. Give me one more card, please. One more card. one more card in the pile. Ancestors and guides, please. Almost had it. Keep going, please. Oh, and oh, I had two of them. And there you go. All right. Let me do a small prayer, and then we'll get into the reading. Great Spirit, my beloved and benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, who wish me good and not harm, my beloved guides, great mother, the Bible, my the great grandfather, I honor you all in this space. I pray that you give me the knowledge and the wisdom to read these cards accurately and truly. Allow these words to be words of encouragement and guidance as they so fit and needed for all those who may come across this message. This I pray, amen and ashe, ashe and amen. All right, so the cards we have for you, pal one. You have a lot of cards in this reading. Oh goodness. So let's see. So first we have the Nine of Pentacles, then the Knight of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and then we have the Ten of Swords, the Two of Cups in reverse, the Empress in reverse, and the Four of Cups in reverse. And so first thing that really stood out to me were all these pentacle cards back to back to back. And you know, the pentacle cards usually um, they represent grounding. They represent those things that are in the physical realm. Um, so while you have the other cards that may represent like mental, spiritual, this is the card that is firmly planted on um, on earth, is firmly planted within itself. And I think it's very fascinating that these cards all like literally flew out together. Now usually when I get like more than one card at one time, I usually put it back and then have one card um, um, to place. But I think this is really important for you, especially when we're talking about the POW that has beginning. Because beginning of what? What is beginning? What is um, coming? What is happening here? What is being renewed? I feel like these cards are in different section. I feel like these Pentacles cards in the front and the rest of these cards are in the back. It feels like the rest of these cards are things that you're leaving behind. Um, I feel like it really does feel, especially when we have the Ten of Swords, and Ten of Swords can be a card of betrayal, um, heavy burden. As you know, the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is a card where usually a person is lying face down in the beach with, well, 10 swords in their backs. Um, which hence why it can be a betrayal card. But I feel like for you guys, it could possibly be a a burdenous card, as if you guys have been carrying a lot of, especially when we talk about swords. Swords is a very mental. It connects to the mental um, thoughts, and I feel like you might have had Power One a lot of mental anguish, a lot of like a lot of shit on your mind, um, a lot of anxiety, and I think I would say rightfully so if we're talking about just in general, these last 6 years have been very trying for a lot of us, and it feels like so much of the world is so eager to just quickly move on and move forward and not really acknowledge the things that have happened in a post-COVID world. When I say post-COVID, I don't mean that COVID is gone. I mean after COVID practically shut down the world in 2019, 2020. So many things have shifted, and so many systems have been trying to just get things back to quote unquote the way they were, without acknowledging one, the after effects, and two, what exactly was going on before, and why is that such a thing to um, appeal to, or such a thing to want to um, look after, to seek after. Things have changed, and times have changed. We have changed. You have changed, Pal One. You're not the same person that you were 6, 7 years ago. And for the better, I think. Um, I'm seeing here that you've literally have, I don't know how long you've been in your spiritual journey, Pal One, but as a healer, I think you've had a time where you were um, definitely carrying a lot of things, which is why this Ten of Swords comes before all of these reverse cards, right? Reverse Two of Cups, reverse Empress, reverse Four of Cups. And I think there were a time where you might have been resisting this particular calling for you because you might be that pal, those type of people that are used to carrying a lot of shit for other people. And for those of us who have been, let's say, current reformed uh, healing people pleasers, it's really hard to understand your position as a healer where you don't fall back into that narrative of being a people pleaser. You don't necessarily have to be a people pleaser in this pal, by the way. That's just some are. But it could be something else as maybe you're the type of person who sacrifices a lot. Or you're like carrying a lot of burden. You may be the eldest child, the eldest daughter. You may be the daughter who, or the child who everyone relies on. You're the most reliable one, right? You don't even have to be the eldest. You could be the youngest, or a middle child, or depending on your family dynamic, you could come from a blended family where you are the firstborn of the new blended family or something like that. You know what I mean? But you're definitely the one who has put a lot of pressure on yourself. It's not always asked of you. I don't think. I think it's something that you saw there was a need happening and you assumed you're like, okay, this is a need, this is something that needs to happen, this is something that needs to be done. I'll be the one to do it. I can do it. I can do it. Um, and that speaks to a part of you that is very caring, very concerning, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Empathetic and sympathetic and compassionate. Um, but the gag is 9 times out of 10, no one asks you to do that. There, like the 9 times out of 10, the 10 times out of 10 is someone did ask you to do that. Sometimes people, like those who, like a parent or caregiver, caretaker, something like that, had looked at you, labeled you more mature, and put more responsibilities on you, and you probably had carried that for a long time. Um, Without questioning it. You just like, okay, yes, I'm doing this. This is me. This is what I want to do. And um there came a point where you just never stopped doing it. Let's say you let's say it was a parent who was like, I need you to do this, that, and the third. And you was like, okay, yes, I'm going to be a good child. I'm going to do this, that, and the third. And then you was like, but I was going to do the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. And they never told you, hey, no, I just need you to do these things. They're like, okay, great, you're doing that. And then they're like, great, here's the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, the 10th. And you, let's say you left that environment. You went off to college, you got married, you moved out for your own accord. And yet you still have the dynamic. You're no longer in that place physically, but mentally you're still there. Mentally, you're still picking up other people's responsibilities. Whether you're at a job, you could be in a position at your job like a supervisor, something like that, or you could most likely not have a supervisory position, but you could be something like a secretary, an executive assistant, a teacher's assistant, something like that, where your responsibilities is to assist others, but you end up taking up so many responsibilities that you might as well be the CEO. You might as well be the teacher. You might as well, you know what I mean? You might as well be the one running the system because you've taken up so much and you don't know how to put it down, or at least you didn't. This is why these everything is after this is in reverse. This is why this is the second half of your reading, like the second half of your cards. I mean, like there came a point somewhere in your healing, your maturing journey where you were like, I'm so fucking tired, and you reverse these cards. You put it in, you put these cards in reverse, and I don't even think you were always cognizant or aware, since I cannot say that word correctly to save my life. I'm not sure you was always aware that you were doing this. Like it's not to undermine your intelligence or your or anything like that, but it was like I think sometimes you just it's like your body gave out for you and you just listened. You know, like some part of you was just like, I'm so tired. And you're probably going to do the exact same thing you normally did, but your body's like, no. And you just sort of just kind of like you kind of like gave out. Um, and in that midst of that giving out, you wanted to find out who you were, find out, you know, what are the things that I want? Like, what are the things that I need? What are the things that are guiding me? What are the things that um, I find passionate without having to look at other people, which leads you to your pentacle cards. You have really started to find your footing and your foundation, which is so good, by the way. Your foundation that you have found, whatever it is really solid, which is why we have this beginning card. Um, I feel like some of you guys are either A, at the beginning of this particular spiritual journey for yourself, or at the beginning of being, of let's say you did your spiritual work and your ancestors have said, or your religious leader has said, I see you in the healer faculties, that this is going to be your job, and you're at the beginning stages of this, and so you're again wondering, how do I how do I do both? How do I not get bring back that old period of me while still solidifying this foundation I have, while also moving forward in this in this purpose, in this calling that I've been called to do. Um, I see here. I see here. The thing is, though, you got this. Like I really can't stress it enough. Like you, like the cards are really telling me that there's something you guys have been doing. Um, I don't know exactly what it is, but you've been doing a really, really fucking good job. Like I hope you're taking the moment to pat yourself on the back, and giving yourself props because you're doing an excellent job. Considering the fact that you don't really know what the fuck you're doing, and by that I mean it's like part of your life felt like it was laid out before you. Like if I do this, then I could do that. Because you're just so used to problem solving and thinking for other people. So when it came to yourself, sometimes you had to take a moment back and be like, okay, what do I do? How do I take care of myself? How do I do these type of things? And you just sort of treated yourself like you would do the other people. Instead of laying on a sword for them, you decided how I'm going to care for myself. How I'm going to like stop self-sacrificing, how I'm going to feed into myself. The first thing you healed, pal one, was yourself. And that is, believe it or not an easy fucking feat. From experience, it's not an easy feat to do. It's not an easy thing to do. It's very hard. It's very uh, re-traumatizing. It's very tiring, exhausting, um, but necessary. It's absolutely necessary. It's absolutely necessary because you can't move forward in any aspect of your life without caring for your own wounds, right? How long have you had wounds that were open, bleeding, festering, um, infected because you're so busy treating someone else's, and you were probably like, I'll see to myself later, but later seemed to never come because there's always another person who needed something, another person who needed something, another person needed something, and there was a part of you that probably didn't mind because you loved caring for people, and you are a very loving group. You love caring for people, you love doing those type of things, but at a certain period, a certain time, it became uh, it just became burdensome. Um, it felt like you're just doing moving less out of love than out of I don't know why I won't say manipulation, but I don't think that's true. Not necessarily true. I don't. For some of you, it may be. Some people definitely were probably like pulling at your heartstrings, but you were definitely moving um, out of responsibility. Um, and because of that, your own needs had went neglected for so long. And along the line, you were like, I'm bleeding out. I gotta stop the bleeding. And that was definitely not an easy thing for you to do, for you to recognize that. It was definitely having you definitely had to um, sever some ties here with the reverse two of cups here. Um, and I feel like some of the ties you had to sever were very important for you, like the four of cups here, very foundational. Family members, very close friends. And you might not even sever ties, you just set up some boundaries, but those boundaries themselves felt like a severing for other people who are not used to you telling them no. You're no longer in your Empress era. The Empress card, while it's a card of creativity and production, it's like a mothering card. You know what I mean? It's the card of it could be the card of someone taking on the act of creating in the way that a mother usually is. A mother creates life, a mother nurtures life, usually. This is why all of your cards are in reverse on this back half. It's because you definitely have moved from that. You're like, I'm not nurturing anyone else but myself right now. And it's not because you're being cruel, it's because you're being kind to yourself. And in doing that, you've really sort of set up. I'm going to move the Five of Pentacles in the front. That feels right. You really sort of set up. Oh yeah, the Five of Pentacles definitely goes here. Five of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, the King, the Knight of Pentacles. You definitely set up um Knight of Pentacles. I'm so sorry. I'm just like looking because there's a story that is being told here because you definitely set up and changed something. So the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles. You definitely move towards this Ten of Pentacles energy. Um, the Five of Pentacles usually represents a need that can be solved only if you just kind of look up and see the help that's already there. Um, but I also feel like for you guys, it's more than just that. I feel like um, how do I say this? It's definitely solid. Does that make sense? It's like you've already revamped your foundations, and this is something that you've you've moved into a place where you're not questioning, nor will you be questioned. There might be some people when you've set these boundaries up underneath the Ten of Swords where they probably fought back. And so this era that you're in was a well fought era. Like not only for yourself, but against other people, but against other people's ideologies, beliefs, thoughts, and not always malicious, not always um, cruel focus, but just questioning. Um, you you don't really you're not in a rush. The thing about the Knight of Pentacles is the Knight of Pentacles, he's taking his sweet time. He he knows he has somewhere to be, and he's like, the place where I'm going is not going to move, whether I rush or whatever it's going to be, where it's going to be, I'm going to take my time. So I'm going to take a break when I need to. I'm going to rest. I'm going to enjoy what's around me. If I find myself in another location that's leading me towards my final destinations, I'm going to sit there for a while. I may take a day or two. I may take a month. I may take a year. I'm not in a rush to be anywhere, because your final destination is this Nine of Pentacles, right? Everything that you thought about, you wanted, you needed is already settled, is already done. So there's nothing more for you to do, you know? And it all sort of begins with that Five of Pentacles, where for other people it's folks may have to look up and only see that there is some outside source that they can lead to. For you, it's more of you really standing firm on the choices that you made and not being pushed around or kicked off. And the reason why I think this is really important for you as a healer is because um, we need people like you. We need people like you. We need people like you um, who are really a don't want to say mirror. The mirror is not the word I'm looking for. Projection, maybe. Whatever it is, people are looking at you, whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not. People are looking at you. People are admiring you. Um, and it's not because you've done anything to court that attention, mind you. You're not like out here in the street saying, like, look at me, ba-da-da-da-da. I'm so sorry. Um, but you know what I mean. You're not out in the streets demanding that attention. You're just doing you, and by the very nature of being you and yourself, other people are looking at you. Other people are seeing you. Other people are getting inspired by you. It's such a very subtle thing. It's so subtle that it can almost seem minute or minuscule or non-existent, which is why I feel like if you clicked on this reading, you clicked on this pal, some of you might be surprised to hear that you're a healer. Um, you're probably going, me, healer? You're probably like, I just clicked on this pal for fun, for shits and giggles, but I'm not a healer. I don't heal, but you are and you do. You are and you do. There are so many various ways to heal people. You may not be the type of people that, depending on your practice, may, you may not do like doctoring work or um, um, conjuring or root work or anything in that type of way. It's for you. You do. How do I say this? What I'm trying to say? For some healers, they got the herbs, right? For spiritual healers, they got the herbs. They know what to use, what to put in this. They know what psalm or a balm or a salve to create. They know how to heal a physical ache. For some healers, they know how to lay on hands, how to do the prayers, how to relieve or release energy. For some, um, they may know how to give a word or encouragement, know how to plant in people and to tend to those needs, and create spaces, safe spaces for people, right? You are the type of person who, if a person is stumbling out of something, out of that Ten of Swords energy, out of that anxiety, that betrayal, that self sacrificing, whatever, they will run into you first. You're the type of person that guides people. And you don't even think that's a big thing because it seems so small, But heralds are an important part of any organization because they foretell of what's coming, whether it comes immediately or it comes later. A herald is the one who says, hey, this thing is coming, prepare yourselves. And it helps remove the surprise. It helps to, you know, think of a herald as if you're in a war and you have someone that's like, hey, we got enemies at the, you're at the gate and you're like, we got enemies coming like a mile or two off. Without you, they won't know that until the enemy's at the door. Um, you are very instrumental in the way that you set up, like foretell certain events. Not necessarily in a psychic sense. It could be. You could have some psychic abilities, um, but not necessarily in that um, dynamic solely. Um, you have the ability to, the gift, I would say, of using the lessons you've learned and incorporate them in a feasible and plausible way. So you can take the mystical and make it logical, make it grounded, make it real. There are some people who can only talk in the mystical and they don't know how to. They can be like, okay, you need, this is what you need. You need to release your energy and do da blah blah blah. And that's good advice. But if somebody goes, okay, but how? Another person be like, I can't tell you how. I just know that you need to do it. And here you come being like, here's how. I will show you how to do this because I've done this. And this is how we do this. This is how we reshift things, how we shape things, how we, you're an analytical type of person. We need analytical people. We need those type of people who are pragmatic, who can say A and B needs to go here, 1 and 2 needs to go here, X, Y, and Z needs to be here. We need those type of pragmatic people that takes us from the mystical cloud like mind that a lot of spiritual places live in and put us directly into the root of the problem. And it's really important when um we're talking about personal issues, global issues, community issues, whatever like that, because it's all it's all fun and games until nobody knows where the fuck they're at, where they're supposed to be, or how the fuck to do anything, right? You are the person who is like, I'm going to put this into action. I'm going to show you how to implement this into action, how to take these words that seem and sound so big and lofty, these big and lofty ideas, and put them into action. And you you know exactly how to do that. You know exactly how to do, and more importantly, you know how to do that without stepping on any toes, without, you're not trying to take anyone else's position. You're not trying to um, run anyone else's, yuck anyone's yum, or like do any of that shit. You're not interested in that. You're not interested in doing anyone else's job. You've been there, done that. You said never again, and you meant that shit. And thank you for that. Thank you for standing your ground. That's the 5 of Pentacles for me. You're standing your ground. You're moving at your own pace, and you don't need anyone else to tell you what to do or where to go. Um, and that's not what you're doing for anyone else either. You're not forcing anyone to move anyway. You're just the type of person when someone says, I don't know what to do, you're like, I got you. Here's what you do. You may have resources lined up. You may have you may have all the community places. You may have all the information. You are the herald. You can tell and say, look, hey, look, this is happening. This is coming. Here's how we work against this, because you're not just saying this is an issue. You're saying this is a problem. I can see it. This is how we make this less of a problem when the time comes. You're not saying you know when the time is going to come, but you can see it. You can see some systems crumbling. You can see some behaviors becoming dire, dramatic, traumatic even, and you're like, I can see this. This is what we need to do. And you're like, I'm just giving you the facts and the information. Do with that what you will. And people appreciate that because they're going to be people who needs that information, who needs that those resources, who need that um that foundation, that system that you are helping to build. And I think that also what we're talking about when we're talking about beginning here is that you could be at the beginning of your journey, beginning of your healing journey, beginning to learn what it means for you to be a healer, but also when other people are at the beginning of their own journeys, that's where they find you. You meet them at the beginning. You may not necessarily be there for the end, that's fine. But at the beginning, you meet them. And it's good that they meet you because when they run into you, their beginnings are solid. Their beginnings are solidified. They're not going to do what a lot of people do when they get into these spiritual spaces or they get into these any type of space they're in where they're so eager to learn, to change, to shift, to do whatever that they're just running around all willy nilly, sometimes to their own detriment. When they meet you, they know exactly what they need to do and what needs to be done. They have a stronger footing because of you. And yeah, yeah, that's what I have for your tarot reading power one. I'm going to pull some oracle cards and then we'll get into the rest of your reading. Okay, the first oracle deck I'm using, I think it's called the Five Masks. I can never remember off the top of my head, but I'll definitely have it in this description, and I'll have all of the decks in the description as always. All right, let's see. What kind of card message that we need for power one? What kind of words and messages you have for some spirit, ancestors, and guides? All right, I definitely feel there's a card in here. Also, I'm hearing don't stop. I don't know if you guys have felt the need to like slow down recently. Don't stop. That Knight of Pentacles energy is the energy where he's moving at his own place, at his own pace. So you don't have to run forward, just don't stop, right? Wherever you are, don't be afraid to sit in that space. There's no rush to meet an end goal because, like I said, your end goal is already solidified for you. It's already there for you. It's already going to meet you there. All right. So the card we got is the Great Telescope, Bigger Picture, Shared Destiny, Technology, the 10th Veil. Okay, I love that. We're talking about the Great Telescope, the bigger picture, and we're talking about for you for the beginning. And I'm currently shuffling the, what is it called? The Moonology Manifestation card deck. But this is really good for you. I like it because we're talking about the big picture. This is really something that is really what we were talking about, how you know that you can see the herald type energy, the herald type gift, where you can see afar off and you know what's happening. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a psychic gift. You could just have common sense, and can see, like, you're like, listen, I'm a student of history. I can tell what's happening. I'm a student of my personal history. I'm a student of the history of my ancestors. I'm a student of history in general. I can tell when when the Trojan horse is at the door, and I know not to let it in. But you're surrounded, sometimes feel like you're surrounded by people who are gonna be like, ooh, pretty. So you're able to see afar off, and you're able to make a larger picture. You're able to take things, like I said, um, out of the mystic and make it specific and narrow and foundational. But you're also able to do the reverse of that, where you're able to see the things that are now and see the bigger picture, where you're able to tell people to, like, you're looking at this one moment of time. I need you to look at it a little bit further. I need you to see this moment of time as what it is, a moment, that leads you further down, um, on a path that's even greater than the moment that we're currently in. Um, Really big herald energy. I'm going to keep saying that. This is a really, like, I don't think I've ever really, because there's so many spiritual gifts, so many. And I don't think I've ever heard of a herald type healer before. Um, I'm pretty sure it exists before, but that's definitely the type of energy you have, Pal One. You're really good. You're really, really good at seeing, excuse me, seeing what a need is and meeting it. Whether it's, like I said, taking the big and making it feasible, or taking a person out of the anxiety of the small moment they are and letting them see the larger picture. Either way, you're really good at setting people off onto a foundation that will solidify them, that will keep them for a longer period of time. The people who you talk to, people who you touch, they aren't just one and done type of people. They, even if you never meet them again, you are going to have such a long lasting impact. And I think that's really what the Nine of Pentacles is saying here, that the legacy you have is so far reaching, it to places where you don't, the people you don't, you've only seen once or twice. Like, I feel like, which is why I'm getting back to that. I think I mentioned it earlier, that you feel like people are watching you, and you don't even recognize it, because you're just out doing you. You're out here doing your thing. And I don't know if you have like a social media account where you're sharing thoughts and insights. You're just talking. That's the thing. You're just talking. You're just like, so here's what I've been through, and this is what I've learned. And you're just sharing. You're just probably just shooting the shit, shooting the breeze, and someone is listening to that and going, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? You have so many eyes on you. You could have a very large social media following, or you could have a small one. You could have like 100 followers. You could have 4 million followers or 100 followers. It doesn't matter, because it all works the same for you, right? You have 4 followers. Doesn't matter. It all works the same for you, because everything that you say is so rooted in a hard earned truth, and a hard earned um, foundation, a hard earned path, that it's really hard to shake you up, and it's really hard for other people to not, like, even if you have haters, they can be like, I can't stand this person, but you know what, I'd be damned if their advice wasn't good, right? Because you are so secure in who you are, um that you don't, you're not even trying to, be or do anything outside of what you already are. And I think that's really, really fucking amazing. That's a really amazing gift that you have, and I do hope you see it as a gift. You may think you're just being you, but you're there's a gift that you've always had, that you're standing more in now as you move forward in your life. And that gift really is just being being you in a sense that it's so healing for other people. You know what I mean? People are not even trying to be you, but they see you and they're like, if they can do it, I can do it too. All right, let's see. Another card. I've been shuffling this deck the whole time. All right, give me another card, please. Oh, okay. Almost. Okay. We have the first quarter moon in Pisces. Honor your feelings. Yes. Okay, I love that. I love that for you, Pal One. Honor your feelings. Um, very important because I think it's crucial for you to um, really make sure that you are that whatever you say kind of goes back with this Ten of Swords energy that you came out of. You're very, it's very important for you to not neglect yourself, to continue to heal yourself. Because as you heal yourself, you heal others. Um, that's really beautiful. I don't know why that's affecting me like it is, but it's because I really love that for you, Pal One. I don't know if you, and you should use all of my readings as confirmation, so you shouldn't be hearing anything new. This should all be confirmations. But if you really needed that extra confirmation, Pal One, here it is. Honor your feelings. As you heal yourself, you heal others. As you heal yourself, you heal others. There are there are people in the world who who we need to who we need to function at their most optimum selves. Um, if that's making any sense, I don't know if that makes any sense. How do I say this? You have spent so much of your time caring for everyone else, and there sometimes may still be feelings of guilt when you take the moment to tend for yourself. And so you may sometimes come across people who say things like, "Oh, oh, you've changed, or you used to do this, that, and the third, or you're being very selfish. You're being this." They've always got some words for you. They always got some conversations for you. They always got something to say to you um, about the way you do things, the way you move things, the way you care for yourself. And sometimes because of that, you find yourself, or you used to find yourself, like having to defend yourself. And this is why I say the Five of Pentacles is that hard earned place where you've had to literally fight for who you are and where you are, fight for your life. But there still are moments, because you're human, where you might question if you're doing things correctly, if you question if you're doing things right. And sometimes you may get in your head and you may, you know, you need that reassurance. So please take this as a reassurance that you have the right to honor those inner feelings that you're feeling, even if it make you feel like you're off your foundation. You're not. You're not. Nothing can shake you. It's just that the human experience doesn't mean that one and done. It's cyclical. So you will be facing these things because you're still human. So you'll still be facing those same obstacles, those same pains, and so those old Ten of Swords wounds may come up again, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to acknowledge the pain that's there, because you're not a robot. You're a human being, and you are not anyone's mother. I mean, if you could be an actual mother, but what I mean about you're not carrying anyone's burdens. You're not anyone's God. You're not anyone's. um, sacrificial lamb. You're not anyone's. You're not carrying any of that shit anymore. But you still have the trauma from when you were, and sometimes that shit rears its ugly head, and it makes you feel like you've been off of your shit when it does. Feels like you're just completely like losing it when it does. But that's not true. You are strong and you're resilient, but also you're loving, you're kind, you're cared for, you you those feelings, those emotions show you that you're still beautifully fragile in a way, in a sense that makes sense, where you still allow yourself to feel, to exist, that you're reminding that you're remember that you are, when you're doing these and you're standing in your pentacle energy, that you don't stand in it in a sense of defiance, but you stand in it in a sense of care, of love, of self-love, of self-care, right? When you honor your feelings, you honor yourself, you honor all those emotions that come with it. Don't be a robot. Don't close yourself off. That's not the whole purpose of this. Like, you, healing is not a one and done thing. Um, and you, I hope you learn. I hope you see and understand that whenever those so-called ugly or terrifying emotions come up, that they need to have their space. They need to have their moment. They need you. They require you to recognize them. And it's okay to recognize them. You're not going to go back into that Ten of Swords energy. You're not going to go back into this. You're not going to flip the Two of Cups, the Empress, and the Four of Cups back up, right? You're not doing that. It's not. It's all behind, right? It's all behind. But your trauma is your trauma, right? if you if you got in an accident and you have a limp, just because you learn to walk with a cane, or just because you learn to rewalk again, the limp is still there, and you don't have to force yourself to not have a limp. The limp is going to be there. It's just a reminder of what you've been through, what you survived, and you can still live a full life while still having that limp. So, just take a moment to honor your own feelings. Remember to always, when you're taking that time, when you're really building from that foundation up, make sure that foundation up that you're building from is not one where you ignore the old version that was you. Give them love, give them thanks for what they've been through and what they managed to get through, and be like, I thank you, but I need to move forward in a different way. Honor who that person was while honoring who you are now. And if those old feelings, those old emotions come up where you're like, I thought I got over it, it's okay if you haven't. That's not life. Seasons come around every year. They don't, like, the trees don't stop existing because, like, they go fallow in the winter, right? Like, spring has to come, Lord willing. So, even if you don't have to exist in your winter months constantly, it's okay for, or you don't have to always try to live in your spring months constantly. It's okay to let things wilt, to let things wither, to let things have a moment to come back around, and to know that, again, this is like that big picture energy, even for yourself, to know that spring is coming, that a summer is coming, that a time of a planting and reaping and reward is coming, even if right now I'm in a long winter, or even if things are really good right now in a long spring. Know, remember that fall and that winter is coming. It has to come. All you have to do is just prepare for it. But whatever period that you're in, honor those feelings and emotions that you're in at the time. Do not try to bypass or circumvent them. That's never going to be healthy for you. And that's a lesson for you to learn, because when you learn that, the people who see you, they learn that too. You heal others by healing yourself. Remember that. And so now we come to the end of your reading. And um, I'm going to leave you with some affirmation cards, some affirmation messages. And so for our first affirmation, we have, let's see. Oh, there it is. I have the courage to be the happiest, healthiest version of myself. Very important, especially coming after that honor your feelings card. And finally, from the I Am Everything deck, we have I have the courage to be my happiest, healthiest version of myself. I really love that for you, pal one. Especially again coming from the honor your feelings card. And also knowing from all the things you came from. I am whole. I am perfectly created. I am a wonderfully unique individual. Every lesson I have learned, every risk I have taken, and every achievement I have made contributed to who I am. Because of that, I am whole. You know, I got nothing to say to you, pal one. I love these endings for you. The honor your feelings. The I am whole. I have courage to be the happiest, healthiest version of myself. Remember these things as you go forward, and remember the phrase, "As I heal myself, I heal others." That's really important for you to do. Um, don't neglect yourself. Remember that you are whole. Remember that as you tend to and care for yourself, other people will see that. All of the resources that you set up for yourself, those are things that you can share with people. All the knowledge and the wisdom that you have, the insight that you have stored up from your journey, those things that you share with other people, they put you in a position to be seen, whether you know it or not. You don't really have to do anything else other than what you're doing. Keep working on yourself. Keep tending to yourself. Keep simply answering questions when people ask them. And when you see something that can need a suggestion, that people are like, "How do I do this? How do I do this?" You know from experience how to do that, and it don't have to be perfect. You're not solving a problem. You could just be like, "Here's what I did." If you don't mind me telling you things, and take those things that are from the big mystical and make it feasible, reasonable, logical, but also help those people who are so focused, singular minded, to see the bigger picture as well, to see the way that things are moving, that there's a community for them, that there are help for them, that there are avenues, that are things that they can help and do, help other people build their foundations as the herald, as the foundation builder. And this is all I have for you, pal one. I love this reading for you, pal one. I really, really do. I hope this is words of encouragement. I hope you take it to heart. But before I end this reading, I want to thank your ancestors and your guides and my ancestors and my guides for showing up in this reading, for Great Spirit for showing up in this reading, and more importantly, I want to thank you for showing up for yourself. Because you showed up for yourself in this reading, I hope these words are words of encouragement. I hope they help and guide you wherever you are. They're words of encouragement. And thank you again for allowing me to do this reading, for sharing this time with me. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one, okay? Bye, pal one. All right, pal two, welcome to your reading. You had the Divinity card. I'm very interested to see what the message these pulls up for you. Pal. Wait, what did I say? Pal three, pal two. Pal two. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's start by pulling your tarot cards. We're going to do tarot cards first, then pull some oracle cards, and then end the reading off with some affirmation cards. So let's go. Tarot card. All right, spirit ancestors and guys, what messages do you have for pal two? Ooh, okay. We got the tarot card. All right. All right. Pal two. Oh, okay. Oh, we got two more. We got the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Is that all? I think there's at least one more card in there for pal two. Ooh, and the Eight of Swords. Okay. All right, so I'm going to say a quick prayer and then we'll get into your reading. All right, Great Spirit, my beloved and benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, wish me good and not harm, beloved guides, great mother, the lamb and the monkey, the great grandfather, I honor you all in this space. I pray that you give me knowledge and wisdom to read this card accurately and truthfully. Let this be words of encouragement, confirmation, guidance, and healing for all those who chose this path to pray. Amen. Ashe, ashe, and amen. Okay. All right, divinity. What does divinity mean as a healer? I mean, with the Eight of Swords here, I'm seeing, okay, so this pal, I'm just keeping it buck with you. Y'all got a lot of shit to do. Sorry, not sorry. It is what it is. Y'all got a lot of shit to do. There's a lot that is expected of you. You have I don't want to say misfortune because I don't think it's really a misfortune. You will have to care and tend to yourself, but you do have um the listen. Okay, I'm trying to find out nice ways to say it because I feel like it's better to put it on with like a smooth, like salve, like sweet. But I'm just rip the bandage off. Y'all have a lot of shit to carry, and y'all have no choice but to carry it. I'm sorry to say. Like I feel like you guys have been carrying this shit for a very long time, and by that I mean you have a for the Eight of Swords, I'm seeing while the Eight of Swords really is someone who's bound up and they're so they can't really see that they have uh they're bound up and they're surrounded by swords, but the swords are in a gap where the person can just freely walk out if they didn't have the blinders on to see, so they don't know. So they don't know that they're just literally steps away from freedom. But for you guys, I'm not really seeing it in that way. I'm sensing it in a way of you guys have a second sight. So you can see things that others can't see, sense things that others can't see. And it might have been um, inherited. Like this is an ancestral gift. I feel like a lot of you guys have have been like y'all see things, whether it's seeing spirits, whether it's seeing the future, or seeing or knowing things, having insights about things that you wouldn't possibly know of, being in places that you couldn't have possibly have ever been because of where your location is, because of where your age is, because of what the things are that you've seen. Like you were born in 1998, you couldn't have possibly have been, if you're born in 1998 in like say Atlanta, Georgia, you couldn't have possibly been in the French Revolution, but you have very distinct you've had always had very distinct memories of the French Revolution, and not because you learned it in class. Like I mean, like you know the shit because you were there, Frodo. You were there. um, yeah, and it's yeah, it's something that you don't necessarily have to hone, but it benefits you if you do. Because what it can do is you may end up with so much input coming that it could risk fracturing your mental state. You don't want to do that. You don't want to um, fracture your mental health. It's very important. Like your health in all forms are important. So like don't just I hope you're not just out here like caring for yourself solely spiritually. You need to be caring for yourself in all ways, shapes, or form. And when it comes to this type of energy, this type of gift, it's really important because um, there is a heavy burden that is placed on you with this tarot card at the very front of your reading. So many people come to you um, and they sort of just leave their burdens at your feet. Not even at your feet. It would be nice to let it left it at your feet. They leave it on you, and you have no choice but to care because it's required that you do. It's required. There are some, um, like I want to say things like shaman, some very ancient ancestral gifts that have been awakened and empowered to, um, gifts that a lot of mainstream new age spirituality think they know about, but they don't fucking know about. Because for mainstream new age spirituality, it's very aesthetic. It has a look. It has a, it looks a certain way. And like I can, if I say mainstream new age spirituality, you've already have an image in your mind. You already seen an image of somebody. I have an image in my mind. I don't even have to tell you what the image is because you know what that image looks like, and that image comes with the word bullshit. It's bullshit. It's feel good. Let me eat my vegan smoothie, do my yoga, and um, not care about the real world that we're living in because it makes me feel good and I look good aesthetically, but spiritually I'm empty. Spiritually I'm dead. But who cares when I look like I do? I got the crystals, I got the earrings, I got the clothes, I got the hair, I got the style, I got the look down fucking packed. And I dabble in this and that and the third. I grab people's traditions and I run with it because I don't have a care or need to care about anything that I'm touching because I've recently decided to revisit I didn't even reread it. I revisited it and then I just got distracted. But I recently visited my article from a couple years back that's called The Cult of Spirituality. And it's this feeling that people are more so drawn to that than actual spiritual enlightenment, spiritual growth, spiritual care, and the way that um, those spiritual needs extend outside of themselves and into a community and the greater good. Um, so you've seen a lot of that, and I feel like you've had to do a lot of course correcting from the violence that has been left from that. And I use the word violence very very intentionally here because it feels like, because that's what it feels like. It can't feel anything less. Where people are being guided into doing a lot of random ass shit from people who, again, pick and choose what sounds good and what feels good, and not really giving two shits about um, what is actually being engaged with, right? They tell you to, contact this deity for this, and then contact that deity for that, and then contact this and do this and third. And meanwhile, they're telling you to talk to ancient spirits from five different practices that have different requirements besides just saying I need you to manifest me some money right quick. You have these ancient spirits that's like, oh honey, I require a blood sacrifice, and they're asking things of them but they're not giving anything in return, and they're having people following them, and people are getting their shit rock left and front, back, and center, and these people, they don't care. They moved on to the next thing. Some of them even left whatever their spiritual pursuits were. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was good for a trend. It was good for a TikTok or two or a YouTube channel, and or they've gotten their money, and now they're moved on to something else. Maybe they went back to traditional religion, or maybe they've moved into like heavy capitalistic practices. Like, I'll save your soul for a fee, for a high exorbitant fee, those type of behaviors. And you can see that, and you've seen that, and it's disgusted you. You've been disgusted because maybe someone you know or love have been wrapped up in this, and you've had to pick up the pieces. And I think that's really important here when we're looking at this Six of Pentacles card here. It really is um, two people sitting and looking at this person who's like, who has the scale, and who's, it's really, sharing within, like trying to divide it evenly amongst people. But for you, I feel like it's you like sort of like picking out like delousing people from spiritual pain. Spiritual, you're like, okay, I'm taking this out, I'm taking that out, I'm taking this out, and it's and you've been doing the work individually, and well, personally, I rather say, for there's people personally in your life, but it's coming to a time where you need to start doing that on a larger scale. On a larger scale, you're gonna be the only one to do this, of course. You're not the only one with these types of gifts, but you definitely will have to do this on a larger scale because, like this tarot card, there are people. The tarot card has someone falling from the card. Um, and there are people that are falling from the downfall of the new age spirituality that is being left behind. I don't know if you get notice that's sort of like being a trend. At least I'm noticing it, where it's moving where I would say it was always headed to be. Very, if I'm gonna put it blunt, a very white supremacist, white nationalist type of view where people are using spiritual speak, spiritual talk, spiritual terms, and but they're still like holding up the systems. They're still holding up capitalistic systems. You have people who are using practices that are closed or practices that are predominantly by people of color, people of global majority, and they're erasing them from it, and they are um, putting white masks and white faces on it. You yourself may be a white person, but you've seen this as well. If you are a person who is white, or you have like white family members, or even if you just sat back and looked and see the way that new age spirituality has always sort of existed at, but even more so in the common, in the larger scheme of things. And because of that, it's leaving a lot of withered souls behind, where people, they need tending to, they need help, and there's no one helping them, or if they are, they're very few and far between, or um, they're they're being neglected, or they're being uh, abused again. Where people are like, oh, I see that you're in pain. Well, I can heal this pain for a price. And I'm not against spiritual workers charging for their services. That's not what this is. This is about people being um, scammers, people being usurpatists, people being um, what's the word? God, what is that word? Users, abusers, basically, where they don't care what the outcome is. They don't care if you survive it. This is not about a mutual relationship where I do a service and you pay for it. It's about, how do I see you at the end of your rope and I pinch out the very last vestiges of whatever you have to fuel myself. And if you die, you die. If it's like it's giving vulture energy, where they're picking at the spiritual bones of a person who's spiritually dying or spiritually numb, instead of um, tending to those wounds, because nobody wants to do that, because it's easier. And I don't say nobody, but I'm saying like these type of people, they don't want to do that specifically. They don't care to do that. They don't care about the um, the repercussions. They talk about karma, but they don't believe in karma. They talk about consequences, but they don't really believe. These are spiritual bypassers, where if anything feels bad, they just like, I'm just gonna meditate it out, or I'll smoke one. I'll light something. I'll smoke it out, and people are broken. They leave a trail of broken bodies in their wakes, and then here you come. Here you come, seeing all of that. My God, seeing all of that and having no choice but to have to pick people up. For me, that's what the Six of Pentacles feels like for me. For you, is the picking of people up, and you're not promising to fix anything. You're not promising, like, you're not, like, you, this Ten of Pentacles in reverse is very interesting for me. It's because I feel like all of these cards are predating your your Eight of Swords energy. So this may not be, this is not even a financially viable option for you. Like, you're not going to get rich from this, right? This is not something that you do for financial, like, you may sell some services, but you're not paying your rent with them. Like, you're just not, and you're not going to. If you hate to hear that, this is the power I think I want to have to speak some hard truths to. Um, I'll try to speak it as gently as I can, but the real fucking facts of the matter is you're not going to get rich from these things because you're not supposed to. Because for you guys, this is such a necessary, I'm not saying you won't get paid from it, but this is such a necessary thing that needs to be done. Someone in your family line for generations have always done this work. Some of them might have done it in the church or in traditional or former religious settings. Some of them have done it in secret. You know, you've had that aunt or uncle or whoever that has had a second sight, has seen what needs to be done. They've always seemed to have a revolving door of people coming in and out of their homes, or who's been texting them or calling them. Excuse me, I hit my hand on something. Texting them, calling them, who needs their advice, who needs their help, and it's not just like, it's actual physical, exhausting work that you have to do. I mean, you guys are in it, in it. You guys are in it. And the thing is, y'all know it. Y'all know it. I bet you even picked this pal hoping for this to not be the response. That you picked this pal thinking, oh, they're gonna say something else. And Jay's got my back, and oh, hun. Sorry if you picked this pal thinking that the answer was going to be anything else but what it is. You are so bound up with it in this, genetically speaking, from your birth, from the birth of your very first ancestor. That's the divinity card right there. It's a divine gift. It's a divine gift, and it's not one you can give back. You can choose not to answer it if you want to, but I'm just be real with you. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. Um, the most that's going to happen if you opt to not answer this is that it's going to chase you down. It's going to hunt you down because it demands an answer. It demands to be seen. It demands to be dealt with. It demands for you to move in your legacy, to move into that ancestral gift. And I get it. As some person who's also have an ancestral gift of healing, when my ancestors, not to make this about me, but just using as an example, when my ancestors, um, years ago at this point by now, maybe 3 years ago, um, they told me, they said, okay, we're going to give you an option. We're going to give you a choice. You can choose to do this now, or you can wait for the next incarnation. Those are your options. And they told me, they said, because listen, when you do this, there's going to be a lot required of you. You're going to, like, the pain that you're feeling now, because at the time I was going through some things. They said the pain that you're feeling now is just a taste of the things you're going to be feeling later on. It's going to keep growing, keep being, because there's things that are required of you. And they said, don't answer this now. Don't answer now. Take a moment, take some days, take some whiles, and then take a while, and then come back to us. Because if you say no, fine. We'll wait for the next incarnation. We'll wait for the next person in the bloodline to get this to. If you say yes, You cannot take it back. You cannot undo it. So I took a moment and thought about it. And I said yes. And they said, fine, good. And from that moment on, being a, for me, being moving in my healer energy, in my healer calling, is me constantly learning, nonstop, nonstop learning. And a lot of those lessons are just life's trials and tribulations. And sometimes I just have to be so physically exhausted, where I end up, because this reading was supposed to be done at the beginning of the month, by the way. And I sat at my computer and I was like, okay, doing it. And my energy said no. And every day it said no. I think by the third day I was like, okay, so I'm just going to go lay down. I'm going to lay down. It's not going to be done now because my energy is so ingrained with me that I cannot just do anything. If I'm making a work, it matters. If I'm making an amulet, it matters. If I'm doing a tarot reading, it matters. Writing a post on my blog, all of that is a part of me using my healing in all aspects, especially since I heal through my hands. So all aspects that I do, that anything that requires me to use my hands, which is every fucking thing, is a requirement of me and how I have to show it for myself, show it for others, and the way that I have to manage and guide my energy. Even right now, during this reading, I'm using so much of my ancestral energy to speak to you as a guidance, as a healer, to speak life into you, to speak encouragement into you. That when this reading is done, I need to take another week to rest. I don't know. I don't know yet. But that's what it is like for those of us who have called from our bloodline, from ancient ancestors who have carried this gift or a curse. You may think it as a curse, a blessing, or a burden. I'm gonna hold space for all of that. That's a very factual feeling to have. I'm not gonna tell you to not feel that. But however you view it, it's a part of your bloodline and it's a part of you. Um, so for you, those of you in PAL too, I feel like that same type of thing that I had is something you have too. Oh look, the 8 of swords, the 7. Okay, I just thought that was interesting. Okay, um, it's very much one of those things where if you do decide that this is too much of a burden to carry, now is the time when you hear this to sit and talk to spirit and your ancestors and see what they say, and have that conversation with you. Because I'm telling you right now, it's something that is going to be a full, heavy requirement of you. Some of y'all fucking know this. I would honestly say if you pick this pal, 10 out of 10 of y'all know this. I won't say that I think all of you have options to choose. I had that option. I don't think all of you do. So for some of you that do have that option, now is a really good time when you hear this reading. Here, let's do the whole reading first. But hear this reading and then go sit with your spiritual family. Go sit with your ancestors specifically, and let them know that you need a second. You need a moment's grace. It won't stop the gift from existing, but you won't have the burden. You won't be held to the burden of having to um, step into it. So you get to live your life, but you'll still always have that gift because, like I said, it's ancestral. It's a part of your bloodline. It doesn't until the day you move out of this world into the next is going to be a part of you. And the next generation doesn't have to come directly from you. It can come from anyone else in your family line, but they're going to find that gift is going to find its way existing within your bloodline. You may not even be the only person within your bloodline, but it's going to exist within that bloodline in some way, shape, or form. For those of you that do not have a choice, do not have an option, sorry to tell you, but it's time for you to step it up. It's time for you to step into that power full force. Do For those of you that are part of certain traditions, that I keep thinking shamanism, um, but traditions like that, where there's a certain type of ceremony or certain things like that that you have to be called in to do. um, Take a moment, gather yourself, but answer the call. I mean, whether you not answer the call or not, it's still going to be there. But you know, prepare yourself to do the work. Prepare yourself to make those sacrifices to answer the call. Like I said, this is not going to be a something that's going to make you rich. I know there are some shamans who do get rich from certain things. There are some spiritual workers, who spiritual healers like this, who do make money. But like I said, you're not going to be filthy fucking rich. That's a that's that's a fact. That is a fact. That is a smack in my own face, personally honest. It's, because this is such a community led service. And unfortunately, these type of people that need this type of work don't always have the funds to match it. There are other ways in which you can get your needs financially met. Um, or other ways to get your needs met. So like you may not get the money, but if if they have options for feeding you, have options to clothe you, or something like that, you may be able to trade a service for that. This is like, lean on your discernment, lean on your wisdom, lean on your ancestors for who or what. Some people you're gonna have to be like, pay me my money. But for some people you're gonna have to be like, you know what, absolutely not. Don't pay me anything. This is a service that needs to be done. Um, but that is the energy that you're in, which is really interesting when we're talking about, because like I said, this Eight of Swords for me reads as this something that is so tied and bound to you, but also if you read it as what is how it's meant to be, it's, you can't really break free from this no matter what you do, whether you do have that choice of having an option or whether you don't. You can't break free. This is something, again, so bound to you that there's nothing you can do. You can either really step into that power or just let this power just exist within and around you. I will say, for peace of mind, I do think it's important. Personal opinion, and again, um, I always lean to your ancestors and your spiritual team for confirmation. I think it would personally, I think it would probably suit you better to give in, simply for the fact that sometimes running from certain things only keeps you running. And you think the tiredness is from these gifts that you have, but it's actually from running from them. When if you embrace them, it's not to say that you will suddenly not be tired anymore, or you won't suddenly start feeling or having new or a whole bunch of different types of emotions. No, 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 no. But you will feel a lot less. It's the difference between, I don't want to say letting something happen, because no, it's more so that you you won't you won't be in the you won't be in a place where you're constantly at high alert because you're trying to run from something. You can know how to work within these energies, work with whatever it is. You have more control than you think you do. When we run from certain things, we're just constantly always running. The running never stops. Um, until you yourself stops, until you pass out, until you pass away. Um, and because this is a lifelong gift, so gifts you might have had when you were a kid, you've always had it. Like, let's say you have the ability to see spirit or see and sense spirits. Um, you're never gonna stop seeing and sensing spirits just because you're like, I absolutely refuse to do this. No, 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 no. I'm not me, not I. Okay, cute. They're still gonna be there. they're still gonna be around, but now instead of using that in your best interest, well, now they're just here. You know what I mean? But if you like, okay, let me learn what I need to do so I can learn how to not control these spirits, but work with these spirits, guide these spirits, um, help them transition. It can be easier for you so that you won't be so overwhelmed, right? And I think that is what's really crucial for you to um for you to learn how to is that it's really important for you to embrace this energy, embrace this gift, because it is a gift. It is a gift. It's an ancestral gift. Um, Embrace it, claim it, claim that divinity that lives in you, because this is, I don't want to say is it a rare gift. I don't feel like it's rare, but I don't really think it's that rare, honestly. But it's for it to carry something through your bloodline for as long as your bloodline has been here. And as long as you've had multiple people bloodlines mixed into your bloodline, for this gift to still exist, it's really, the persistence of it is really something remarkable, something to remark upon. So knowing that you have you have that gift that has survived generations upon generations upon generations upon and generations, infinity symbol, to still reach you is amazing. It's really amazing. Um, but yeah, this is a divine gift, pal. Too. You are standing with a heavy, heavy burden. There, you got to do it. You, there's work you've got to do. There's work that needs to be done, and it needs to be done by you. Like I said, when you have that tower card, it's leading your reading. It's like the tarot card is so funny because the tarot card is leading, and your eight of swords is like at the back of your reading. Like it's leading every other aspect, because it's such a important part of you as a healer, and when in connection with your gifts, that it's, like I said, ignoring it is detrimental to yourself, but to the people that need you. There are people around you that need you, in whatever way, shape, or form that means for you to show up. They need you. They need your words. They need your wisdom. They need your workings. They need your spells. They need your prayers. They need your talismans. They need your amulets. They need your healing hands. They need whatever it is that you have that's a part of that ancestral healing. They need it. The world needs it. The world needs you. And it needs you to step up to the plate. It needs you to stop playing around and stop fucking around and get to doing the work. It needs you to be about the work. And that is me, like I said, this is not the power of pulling punches. Because y'all pick this pal hoping for something else, but knowing what you're getting. Knowing that you might have hoped for a different message, but there's a part of you that knew what this message was going to be. Congratulations. Welcome to your confirmation. Get it the fuck together now. Reach out to your ancestral teams. Sit. Here's what you do. You don't even need to do much. Grab a candle, a bottle of water, call upon your ancestors. I have my Hoodoo 101 course, and you don't have to be a Hoodoo to do this, but ancestral venerations is so ingrained within us as people, regardless of what your culture is, what your ethnic background is. It's second nature, I believe, to the human existence. Um, Reach out to your spiritual family. Greet them in love, greet them in respect. Um, you don't have to invite all of them into your places or whatever. But you can just say, "All right, ancestors, hi, I'm here. I'm here. What do I do? Where do I go? Where do I start?" And they're not gonna. I doubt that they're gonna start like, "Okay, great, you're here. All right, so I'm gonna need you to immediately to start doing blah 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 blah." Because no, these are especially for those deeper ancient traditions that you're a part of. For some of you are a part of, it requires training. It requires a lot of stuff. There are certain things that you guys gonna are going to need to do. Some of you are going to have to travel to places. Uh, and that's the reason why you're going to need some finances for some of you. So you're going to have to travel to places to really connect with this part of yourself. Some of you are just going to have to, um, if you can't physically travel, FaceTiming, Zoom calls, video calls, those type of things are going to be crucial. You're going to have to physically leave your places of being, if whether you're able to or not. You may have to have, if you have people in your life where if you can't physically leave, and there's people in your house in your life that can, ask them to call them to bring in the things that you need, and all of those type of things, to bring in your resources and the things that you need. Um, Reach out to your spiritual family, reach out to your spiritual team, call upon them, ask for their insight, ask for their wisdom, and ask them to help you navigate this ancestral gift. How do I use this ancestral gift? What do I do? Where do I need to go? Guide me, lead me, because you're so needed, pal. Too, you're so absolutely needed, and you're needed like immediately. And I'm not trying to like scare you or put a rush on you or anything like that, but it's just that that's just the fact of the matter, is that those of us in PAL 2, and I'm putting myself in this PAL 2, those of us in PAL 2, we have such an important gift that we cannot, we cannot neglect or delay it. We cannot. There are people at the bottom of the tower that are spiritually dying because we're hesitating, hemming and hawing of about what we need to do. For those of you that do have the option to choose, like I said, now is a great time to sit and talk to your ancestors and allow them to, and ask them what is going to be required of you to do this gift, and you can choose. For those of you that don't, get your ass in order. And I'm saying that with love. I'm saying that with hard truth love. Get your ass in order. Get your ass in place. Be get it be about your business. Be about your divine business. Huh. All right. I'm about to pull out some oracle cards. Ah, I'm using the African Goddess Rising Oracle. Whew. If I came out harsh on this reading, it's not for me to be harsh. It's more so of a, I'm gonna say a chin check. It's a reality check. It's that trying to run from something, and it's not serving you to run from it anymore, pal. Too. You can't run from it anymore. All right, ancestor spirit guides, give me some words of insight and wisdom. Oh, 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 okay. Oh, radical rebirth. I'm gonna have to read these from the deck. And if you hear, I don't know if you can hear, but my neighbor is mowing their yard, so I apologize for that if you hear it. I can't do anything about that. So, all right, sisters, okay, give me some more. Is there any more? Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, there's 4 cards came out. Okay, that one. Okay, that one. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Let me tell you what cards came out for you guys, and then I'm just gonna read them in order. First, we had Mabuya Nahanda, Radical Rebirth. Then we had Sekhmet, Wounded Healer. And then we had Marie Laveau, Good Juju. And then finally we had Mame Kumba Bang, Speak Up. All right, so I'm looking at these numbers. For some reason, these numbers are really important to me. And so I'm just going to read what the numbers are before I read into these cards. But the numbers from Divinity is the 7 card, and the card has 777. The Tower card is the 16th card. You have the 6 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, the 8 of Swords. Mumbaya Nahanda is 5. Sekhmet is 15. Marie Laveau is 7. And Marie Kumba Bong is 33. I don't know if any of those numbers mean anything to you, but they have sort of been, like, especially for the tarot cards, they have sort of been staring at me throughout the reading, and I just feel like they may have some importance to you. So I don't know if are those numbers that are important for you, if you've seen them as repeating numbers or what have you. Um, but if they have come up before or anything like that, just, I don't know. That's just for for extra whatever. Just extra knowledge, I suppose, if you may need it in this reading. But let me get to reading from the book. Okay, for Mabuya Nahanda, Radical Rebirth. Her guidance is yes, you can. Stop the struggle. You can choose at any moment to start over and be reborn. Like the sun, you rise again and again. Her embodiment is dust yourself off, move forward, and go for it again. Life is about transition and change. You will fall on your face, change your mind, and need to make a comeback again and again. Release the idea that you mess things up if things aren't perfect. Stop waiting to be ready. Make new choices and decisions. Her goddess declaration is still I rise. Very interesting. Very interesting for you, particularly. I don't know if one of the things that are keeping you back is fear of making mistakes. First of all, mistakes are a natural part of life. Maybe you've seen, like from this tower moment, you've tried to help people in these tower moments, and you weren't too sure the advice you gave was right or correct, or the assistance you gave was good or whatever, and maybe that had put you off and that made you be fearful. But it's a really good lesson to learn. Um, I don't I know we think because the people in this group are definitely people who are like, I don't want to fuck around and hurt people. I don't want to learn through people. And by that I mean you're like, I don't want to learn a lesson that is is via um, making someone else worse for wear. Um, I think any advice that you gave from the place that you were at, and you gave it for the best of your abilities and your knowledge and your wisdom, I will say I do think it probably had a better impact. Probably not the best that you can that you'll grow as you grow more into your gift and wisdom and other ways, and how to use that ability as a healer to really truly um, however that healing shows up for you, whether it's working roots or exercising spirits, or however those ancestral gifts may show up for you. um, but just know that the work that you did before matters, and because you worked the place that you worked from, and I don't always believe that intention always is more important than impact, but I will say for you guys that the places that you worked from previously, before you really, like, because like I said, this is a ancestral gift, so you've been working in these gifts even without officially knowing what you were doing. So you might have just like gave some information or some suggestions to a friend or a colleague or something. You might have guided them to the best of your knowledge and your wisdom. And I will say that that's enough, that you've done the work that you need to do, but don't let that hinder where you need to go. You need to have a radical rebirth. You need to allow yourself to grow again and again and again and again. You never stop growing. You never stop learning. And the more you move into these gifts, the more you'll learn as you grow. And it's less that, oh, I messed up, but more so that I used the knowledge and wisdom I had at the place I was at to the best of my ability. Here's my new level. And now here's my new level. And now here's my new level. The things you might have learned you knew 10 years ago, it's definitely not the things you know now. You know so much more now. And holding yourself to the limited knowledge you had a decade ago is hindering yourself from growing. It's hindering yourself from having that radical rebirth, as the card says, of having to, like the card said, still I rise. You're rising to new and new heights, new and new levels. And because you're rising to new and new heights and new levels, um, you it, it's ridiculous to, like, literally ridiculous to be like, a decade ago I was here and therefore I'm I'm stuck here. Like, no, you're not. Absolutely not. You've already done so much work. You've already done so much growth. Stop hindering yourself. Stop making excuses for yourself. You know, learn, grow. Make sure that the next 10 years you're at an even different level than you are now, that you've grown more and more in your gift, in your calling, in your skills, in your abilities. Who I am now is not who I will be in another decade, but it's definitely not who I was when I in 2020, 6 years ago when I started my practice. I don't even think, if I were to go back and visit 2020 me and I was like, this is who I am now, I don't think they would recognize me. And a decade from now, I don't expect to be able to recognize myself either. I don't expect a decade from now in 2036 to look back at myself and be like, oh my God, I'm still the same person. I better not be. I better not fucking be. I'm doing the best that I can with what I know now while allowing myself to continue to grow. And I think that's what the radical rebirth card is really telling you, pal, too, is that don't allow your past to dictate your present and your future. Don't allow yourself to be stagnant. Have as many comebacks as you need, however you want to call it, but have that continuing process, that continuing growth, that continuing uh, forward movement. That's how you hone your skills. That's how you make yourself. Um, that's how you make yourself formidable. That's how you make yourself strong. Our next one is Sekhmet, and her says, Sekhmet, the goddess of wounded healers, heal thyself. Everyone gets your best except you. You are a healer among your tribe. Stop putting your needs last. Embodiment. When did you become? When did you decide to become a martyr? Take a breath. Wounded healers hold sadness, rage, and fears of brokenness. Being a warrior wasn't a choice for our beloved foremothers. They did the very best they could, but being a goddess warrior for us is knowing that we have the choice not to fight all the time. Deep dive questions. What are your swords, the weapons you use to fight? And what are your shields, the ways you defend yourself? Dare to lay the burdens down along with your swords and shields. Goddess declarations, it is safe to put myself first. Oh my gosh. I feel like a lot of the things that are coming up in this reading are a lot of, I don't want to say excuses, but actual definite fears, concerns that people in this POW are going to naturally have. Um, there are so many wounds that some of us are working from. Um, and we may feel guilty for doing that. We may feel guilty. It's like you have that radical rebirth energy in the previous card where we may feel guilty for the things that we did, what we didn't know, maybe some mistakes we made. And now we're working from this wounded energy. Maybe we've always sacrificed ourselves. If you came from pile one, we've talked about that, as well as coming from that energy of sacrificing yourself constantly, to the point where moving out of that energy, you might have a course, you might have hard corrected, where you've put up barriers so strong, so hard, um, and now you're trying to navigate that balance of, how do I both work as a healer to heal myself but heal others, but to defend myself, but not to have my guards up too high where people can't get through, but make sure I'm not, all of those type of things. It's not a perfect balance. And I think that if you're trying to find a perfect balance, it's not a perfect uh, good balance is important. What I mean is, like, it's not a perfect equation that you get right all the time, is what I mean. You're not going to be like, okay, so I figured out how the balance is on Monday, so this is how it's going to be for every day after this. Like, because Tuesday comes, the Tuesday is a whole nother day with a whole nother set of challenges, and some of the things that you've learned on Monday aren't some of the things you learn on Monday won't be needed for your Tuesday, and it won't be needed for your next Monday either, or your Wednesday, right? We every day gives us new challenges, and every day we have to face them as we can. And we should be moving from a place of self-love, self-forgiveness, um, and from a place where we're not always 100%. We're not While we're always aware of our wounds, we're not always working from them. You know what I mean? Because what does the guidebook say? Don't be a martyr, basically. I feel like so many of us, because I know for me personally speaking, one of my ex friends told me that, don't be a martyr. Because I've recently, my phone has died on me, so I've been transferring a lot of some stuff that I've had from my own phone to my new one, and my temporary one, I'll say. And one of it is looking at some of those old notes I written down, and one of them was a quote I completely forgot about. Don't be a martyr. You save no one, especially not yourself, by being a martyr. That's not what your gift's about. That's not what being a healer is about. Being a martyr. You don't heal people by laying down and dying. You can't heal when you're dead. This is an active living gift. Pal 2 is active and it's a living gift. It means it's required you to be living in this existence now to do it. Do not be a martyr. Do not lay yourself down. Do not let your wounds speak for you. Do not speak from those old hurts, those old pains. You don't have to, everything doesn't have to be a fight. Everything doesn't have to be a battle. You are allowed to lay your weapons down. The Eight of Swords here tells us that we don't even really have a battle to fight. We can move through it. The war is done. The battle is done. You can move through. It's okay to work in your gift, pal, too. You don't have to work from a place of hurt and from pain. You can work from a place of love, joy, excitement even. You don't have to be the wounded healer. What was the goddess declaration? I feel like, is this right? And it was this one? 15, it's safe to put myself first. It's safe to put myself first. It's okay to take those moments to yourself. This is the reason why I say that some of you guys have that opportunity where you may need to sit down and have a conversation with your ancestors and let them, and some of you don't, some of you do. I don't. Since it's such a general reading, I can't say. If it's a personal reading, I'll be able to tell you, but this is not, so I can't say who or what it is. You have to have your own discernment, your own knowledge and logic and wisdom to know where you are in what particular practice or faith or spiritual gift you have. But for those of us who are offered the ability to choose between it, you can say no. It won't make the gift disappear because that's an ancestral gift, and as long as you are alive on this side of living, you will have that gift. But knowing that the part of being a healer in general is that you don't have to self-sacrifice. If you came from Pal 1, that was an important lesson that we've learned, that you can turn all of those cards where you've been carrying other people's burdens, you've been carrying other people's things to the detriment of yourself. You can carry them, reverse them, flip them around, where you're no longer carrying those things, and you can tend to and love and care for yourself while being a healer, so that you're not moving from a place where you're constantly in that martyrdom. You don't need a martyr. We don't need any more martyrs. Lord knows we have enough. We don't need, and this is definitely not something that is asked of you for your gift in PAL 2. Martyrdom does not come with this gift. It's actually an antithesis to this gift. It's an anathema for this gift. It's something that this gift will actively push you out of. If the more you try to be a martyr, the more this gift is going to be like, no, we don't want that. That's not what we're asking. That's not what we want for you. That's not what your ancestors want for you. That's not what this gift wants for you. That's not what the divine is wanting for you. That's not the purpose of this gift. This gift is not a gift that requires you to lay down and die. This is not a lay down and die type of gift. This is not a gift that you are to be underneath the foot of other people. You're not asked to. No one is asking you to march, to let them march and walk all over you. And if you feel that that is something that is being asked and being required of you because of the intensity of the gift, is really a good time to really connect with your ancestors. And I will tell you again from experience, that is something my ancestors have been told. Like my friend telling me that was just confirmation of something my ancestors had already told me. They was like, no, we're not asking you to do that. We've never asked you to do that because that's not necessary for this gift. In fact, the exact opposite is necessary for this gift. You need to tend for yourself. Who heals the healers? You do. We need you to tend to yourself. Otherwise, this shit will swallow you whole. And I guarantee you, people won't even notice the bones that are spat out. So you have to tend to yourself. You have to care for yourself. The next one, Marie Laveau, the goddess of good juju. Her guidance says, great luck is yours now. You have been granted the greatest inheritance. Look at spirit. Embrace your divine abundance. Look at spirit times 2. You have good juju. Oh, that one sounded a little bit moany. I didn't mean it to sound like that. But you know what I mean. Come on. The embodiment. This is a time of increase for you. You are an heiress to a rich heritage of divine prosperity. Come through. Accept your ancestral inheritance. Come through. Good juju is abundance. Luck is being supported by the universe. Abundance is the goddess way. Just as you want abundance for those who come after you, your creator embraces wealth for you too. Goddess declaration. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. It really just says all I do is win. But I love that. I love that this confirmation. This is a divine gift. Like I said, this just talks about good luck and abundance. Like I said, you're not gonna get rich. So this, like, don't expect this gift to open up. I mean, some of you may get a lot of good money, but don't expect this gift to open up ways in which you're like, oh, I'm never gonna work again. Because first of all, this gift is work, but it's going to take care of you in ways both seen and unseen, imagined and unimagined. Right? You may not get your financial money, but you won't go hungry. You may not live in a mansion, but you won't be homeless. You may not have the finest designer clothes, but you'll never be without clothes, without shoes, without care. Somebody somewhere, because this gift is making ways for you to have an abundance and prosperity, and outside of just the financial, I want my bank account nice and fat type of ways. There's things here that are making opportunities for you, and I do not embrace this gift just because you think it's going to make you rich. Because I'm telling you right now, like I've always said for this reading pal too, this is not an easy ass gift to have, and it's not an easy ass work to do. It, you don't take this work up with the outcome of being rich, because the nature of the work itself is so taxing, so necessary, but so taxing that doing this for the intent of being wealthy and the work that are required for you to be wealthy is ridiculous. And you are a very smart group, pal, too. You're smarter than that. If you want wealth, get a 9 to 5 job. Find you another way of finding wealth and accumulate that in the best way you can. But it won't be through this. It won't be through this ancestral gift. You will have abundance, but you will not have wealth. Those are two different things. And it's okay. It's okay to have your abundance, because that means all that you need will be taken care of and will always be taken care of, because it's required that you are taken care of. That's that good juju coming back on you. Like the Natajoki Sean quote goes, my love is too sanctified to get thrown back on my face. Your gift is too divine to be thrown back up on your face. And lastly, we have, oh my goodness, I lost the page. Here we go. Mame Kamumba Bang. Her guidance is speak up, speak out, speak on it. You have a right to be heard. Her embodiment, you are betraying yourself by not speaking up. Your words have power. Own your voice. As the old saying goes, stand up for something or fall for anything. Being neutral is not an option. When you stand firmly in your truth, you have thoughts, opinions, beliefs, and convictions. What do you stand for? Tell someone today. Goddess declaration, I reclaim my voice, I speak out and I speak up. Ooh, I love that for you, pal too. Speak out and speak up. For you guys, this is really important, because this is a part of, it's a part of your gift too, speaking up and speaking out and calling those things into your life, but also calling those things out, like we talked about earlier in the reading, those, that tower moment where those bodies have been broken and harmed from the violence of scammers, harmful societies and entities and systems, those type of things, where especially spiritually speaking, a lot of people have been doing aesthetic spirituality without any actual in-depth care and concern for the people that are being hurt. Your voice is very crucial now. Your voice is very important. Some of you may have platforms that you can speak out on. Some of you may not. And that's okay. The platform itself isn't important. As long as people know that you are here speaking the truth, saying the words, saying the things that are necessary to call out those detrimental systems, that matters. And that could also be a part of some of you guys' gifts as well. To really speak life, to speak truth to power, speak life into people that are wounded in these systems. Yeah, I like how these oracle cards ended for you guys. The good juju and the speak up. These cards are really, really solidifying you standing in that power that you hold. Don't shun away from it. I even like these other two cards at the beginning of the oracle reading for you too. Don't um don't let your past dictate your future. Like always be willing to level up, to rise again and again and again and again. Don't be a martyr. Don't um, work from a place of wounds. Work from a place of healing, from a place of love and concern for yourself. Take care of yourself. Tend to yourself. Tend to your wounds. This is an actual living gift. This is an ancestral gift with good juju that's going to bounce back on you. All the good work you do is going to bounce back on you. This is also really important. I need to say this, that if you are working out of alignment as well, so you may, if you feel like you're getting too big in your britches and you're just gonna do whatever, don't just do whatever. This is such a divine led gift unit pal too, that you can't just do anything. You literally cannot just do everything. It really matters how you work and how you move. So just like good juju bounces back on you, bad juju bounces back on you as well. Speak up, speak your words, speak your truth, declare yourself, declare, speak that life, and not only to yourself, but to those around you. Right? We need that. There are people that are coming from these places, from these harmful places, that need you to speak life into them, to heal themselves, to speak that victory, that power, that strength into them. Speak into yourself. Do not be afraid to speak that joy, that life into yourself, pal too. And so we've come to the end of your reading, and I'm going to leave with some affirmation messages. So I'm just going to pull a few affirmation cards. This is a very long reading. So far, my timer has an hour and 8 minutes. So this is probably going to be the longest reading of the entire group, but it's necessary for it to be the length that it is, because how to you really are. There's a lot of things that really are required for you, and it's really time for you to be about your business, to really step up. The universe is filled with endless opportunities for me. I love that, because I feel like that is very true for you, pal too. The universe is, because honest honest to goodness, oh my goodness, there's so much that is so in alignment for you, pal too, that the more you move into this ancestral, the more you embrace and move into this ancestral divine gift, the more things open up for you, and you don't need to be afraid of what it shows you when it does open up for you. And finally, we have I am strong. I am stronger than I think I am. I reject victimhood. My strength is knowing that all circumstances are temporary. I focus my attention on what's in front of me. I naturally move forward into new phases of life. I am strong. I love that for you, especially when we're talking about what we talked about in our oracle cards. So you are strong. The universe is filled with endless opportunities for you. You can move forward. It's safe to move forward, and more importantly, it's safe to move forward in your gift. And this gift, don't be afraid to embrace it. Embrace that a part of yourself and step into it. Step into your power. Contact your ancestors. Contact your spiritual family, and let them know that you heard the call, that you've been hearing the call, and it's time that you're ready to step forward. And know that it's not going to be an immediate thing. It's going to be a journey that you need to take going forward. Every step you take towards that journey is a crucial, important step. Every step matters, because it makes you stronger and deeper into your gift, your calling, your abilities. So this is all that I have for you, pal too. I hope this reading, I want to first thank Great Spirit, my beloved ancestors and guides, your ancestors and guides, and more importantly, I want to thank you for showing up for yourselves. Thank you for allowing me to do this reading for you. I pray this reading gives you healing, comfort, guidance that you need, and the confirmations that you need. Thank you so much for being here. You got this, pal too. You got this, pal too. It it may be exhausting, and in some aspects it may be scary, but just remember, like the card said, you're strong. You're stronger than you think you are. You're braver than you know you are, and more importantly, you're not alone. Because this is an ancestral gift, you have ancestors who have been through this thing that you've been through, and they have your back. So you're absolutely not alone in this. I love you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, pal 2. Bye bye. Hello, pal 3. Welcome to your reading. For those in this pal, you chose the devotion card. So I'm going to start off with a tarot reading, pull an oracle card or two, and then end the reading with an affirmation. So let's just get started. I already shuffled this deck. So let's see what cards may come out for you, pal 3. So what cards do we have for pal 3 devotion? All right, come on. Yeah, okay. I don't know if those are extra cards. Put those aside. There's definitely one more. Okay. We have the Page of Swords. Oh. And we have the Four of Cups. I'm sorry, the Six of Cups. Oh, and the Ten of Swords. Okay. Is there any more cards? Are these 2 cards? There is an extra card in this. Hold on, let me shuffle this before I see if these 2 cards that pulled out are important. Okay, come on. Come on, Spirit. Nope. Too many cards. Come on, Spirit. Okay. Okay, I think these cards may actually be a part of your reading. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think it's really okay. Before I do, let me let me do my prayer first, and then I'll talk about what's interesting here. Oh, great spirit, beloved, benevolent ancestors, both known and unknown, wish me good and not harm. My beloved guides, great mother, divine mother, my great grandfather, I honor you. I pray that you give me the insight to read these cards accurately and truthfully. Let these be words of healing, comfort, and guidance for all those who may come upon this reading. This I pray, amen, and amen. Okay, so some of the things that are very interesting here. I'm going to first tell you what all the cards are, then I'll tell you what I find interesting here. So first we have the Page of Swords. Then we have the Six of Cups. We have the Ten of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Cups in reverse, the Nine of Cups, and then the Eight of Swords in reverse. So what's really fascinating here is that the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Swords. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Eight of Swords. If you looked at any of the previous pals, pal 1 and 2, these were both present in those previous pals. So I think that's very interesting that they're here in this reading. But I also think what's very interesting here is that the Eight of Swords is in reverse, whereas in the second pal it was upright. And I don't know what that means. Let's see what we got here. So you have a lot of sword energy here. Oh my goodness, pal 3. You have swords, and so you have a lot of air and water energy here. I'm gonna put this one down here. Yeah, air and water energy. You are an emotional ass person, I'll tell you that. Uh, all the people in this pal, you're emotional, but not to your detriment. It's no surprise to me though that some of the cards that I've pulled here feel very, I'm getting this like, don't fuck with me type of energy. Do you know what I mean? Like it definitely feels like, and I think that's really important reason why the Eight of Swords in the reverse here for you guys. Um, because the Ten of Swords, unlike in the first deck, I feel like the Ten of Swords is more of the energy of you towards somebody. Like this energy gives me you're very caring, but the way in which you care for people can be scary to people that don't know they made themselves your enemy. What I mean is that you are not the one or the two. You are not to be played with. People who try to play you or play in your faces play themselves to their own detriment. Woe be unto them if they think they can fuck with you. You are unfuckwittable. And more importantly, those that you love should not be fucked with either. Like that's just like a warning to people. It's a warning to people. Um oh, this is very important because this makes sense because while I was reading now, okay, so like when I usually do cards, I read with my right hand, which means is if I'm pulling out cards, and I'm feeling what the energies are, I feel with my right hand. This is the one that was guided by my left hand. And if you don't know in hoodoo, left hand work is that pretty much that acolyte work. It's that work that you do when people aren't behaving. You got something for that ass to make them behave. If you are a hoodoo practitioner, you are definitely those people who folks go to when other folks is acting up. So somebody somebody's talking smack about somebody, somebody is putting some work on somebody, somebody is out here trying to do harm to somebody. You are you are that person that needs to get called on to reverse that shit. Um, yeah, I can automatically see how the devotion card is showing up in this reading. Um, you don't play about yourself, and you don't play about your gifts, you don't play about your talents, and you do not play about the people you care about. And if a customer comes to you and they're like, "I need this," you kind of like, well, you're not saying say less because you do need to say more, but you definitely are, you are about that. You trust your workings. You are perhaps out of any other pal the most connected to your gift. You're not fighting anything, you're not unsure about anything, you know who you are. This is some hard fought wisdom that you're working from. Yes, yes, yes. There's feminine energy here because I keep wanting to say yes ma'am. So I don't know if some of your ancestors who who've practiced what you currently practice, if this is ancestral practice, if you yourself are a woman or a female or identify as a woman, or if some of the people who have done this work have been done by the women in your line. So you may closely associate with your a matrial uh, bloodline more than your mother's bloodline, than your father's bloodline, or things like that. If you were raised by two women or by two men, um, if there is a family member who has more feminine type of energy in one of those in those pairings, and by feminine energy I don't mean soft, I mean, how do I say this? I mean, well, yeah, I do kind of mean soft. Not that femininity is inherently soft, but I do mean like if there's one that you kind of look like, that if someone were to be like, who's your mom? Even if they're both your mom or both your dad, you'd be like, oh, this is this person. This one has mom energy. This is the one who who does the things that you associate with a mother, so to speak. the way they care, the way they nurture. Not that the other ones neglect you, but the way that they care and they nurture you is very mom coded. And that lineage is the one that is really guiding you. Even if you're adopted, you probably connect with your mother figure more, or the female or feminine caretaker, or again, that person with that more mother like energy. Because I don't know if you know this, but in a lot of religions and traditions and things like that, the women of those traditions, beliefs, and things are usually the fierce ones. Like even in nature, if we think about everyone's like the lion is the king of the jungle, but it's actually the lioness. The lioness runs the whole shit. Like she does the hunting. Do not fuck with her cubs. If you see a mama bear, you fucking run. Especially if you're around her children, she will rip your ass to pieces. She will rip your ass to shreds. Um, you know those type of energies. So the feminine energy in here is so strong, so strong. It's like it's getting me dizzy how strong it is. Like my god, oh my gosh, even closing my eyes I can still see it, that brightness, that it's so in your face with it. And you carry it so well, pal 3. No matter what your gender identity is, it does not matter. You carry that identity so fucking well. That's where the devotion comes into. You you are not new to this. You are true to this. You have been in this journey for a minute now, for a while now. You you know exactly what you need to do, where you need, like, honestly, just like with pal 2, this is kind of like you're picking this pal up as a you're doing this kind of reading just for like shits and giggles mostly. um but unlike pal 2, you like what you're hearing. You like what you're hearing. Pal 2 probably will fight me, but you're kind of like the ones that go, yep, bet, per, you know what I mean? You are you are so mm. So that there's a lot of hard energy here, but there's a soft layer as well. And that harder energy protects that soft layer. But I feel like the soft layer is those around you. Like, like, see, because like I'm seeing the 6 of Cups and the 10 of Cups, right? Right? You are, you, like, for those in your life, you are a very big blessing. You are a very big blessing. And that's because you're always, oh, excuse me. Sorry, that was my chair. You're always tending to them, but never in a sense where you are neglecting yourself. Because I think you found a really good balance for yourself, Powder. You found um a really good balance for yourself, where you are, um there's no or very little fear that you will get ran over or taken over, because I feel like the people in your life really respect you, because it's not that you're so scary. Mm-mm. It's about a respect thing. People respect who you are. They respect the work that you do. They might have not always understood or agreed with it, but I think you've shown and proved as you've grown into your abilities. You are the type of folks that when shit needs to get done, it gets done, it gets done well. I have a feeling of deja vu right now. I don't know why I'm having that feeling of deja vu. Um, I feel like I might have done this reading before. So you might have watched one of my readings before a long time ago, long time ago. And this is just coming back up, or you might have watched another reading and this is just coming back up. Like it's pretty much saying the same thing. So you're kind of like, you might be a little bit bored. You might be a little bit bored of what you're hearing, and that's okay, because I I like I said, I don't think you're clicking on this reading with the intent of being challenged. It's like, because it's like fun and games for you. It really is fun and games for you, but because you're so secure in who you are and the abilities you have, these things kind of keep coming around and around. So it just kind of feels like, oh, I know, yeah, I know. It's talking to a, he's like talking to a, it's like you're preaching to the choir type of energy. For those of you who are, though, who are just really getting into this energy, but actually no, I don't feel like that's anyone in this pal though. Like the first two pals kind of had that energy, but this pal, it doesn't have that energy at all. Like this is probably going to be one of the shortest readings ever, simply because there's literally nothing else I can say to you guys. You know who you are. You know what you're doing. You know where you're going. You you stand up for those around you. You have no, there's nothing you need. Like especially right now. And if we're talking about in the greater scheme of things, of about, you know, the meeting the moment that this reading was about, the calling, the message for the healers, you know where the moment is, and you've done your job. You, there's nothing else for you to do. There's nothing else for you. You know not to touch any works that are working. You know not to stand in the way of spirit. You know not to force anything that can't be moved. You know how to care and tend for yourself. You are so wise. That's why this devotion card, like this devotion energy is so good, because you're devoted to your gifts. You're devoted to your calling. You're devoted to your purpose. You're devoted to your family, to your friends, to your community. You're devoted to what you stand for your morals. You are you are the, if we're talking about, if we look at this reading as all of these pals as one large reading, you are the accumulation of everything the first two pals had to learn and grow into. You're there. Not to get cocky though, of course, because there's always more lessons to learn. There's always more things um, to grow from. But you are actually so good right now, pal three, that there's nothing to be said for you. There's nothing to be said. There's nothing more I could possibly say other than end up just like spending another 20 minutes regurgitating the same facts. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the oracle section of this reading, pal 3, and just get some more words of additional words of encouragement for you. And then I'm going to move on to the oracle. And then I think, unless something else comes up, I think I mean to the oracle, to the affirmation. And then I think, if, unless more things come up, I think I'll be done for you. So let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I feel like such a, oh, the snake heart. I feel like such a mixture of fire and water. So that yin and yang energy, so well balanced with you guys, so well structured with you guys. And I don't think it's like innate. I think, like I said, hard work, hard earned. You did the work to get to this place, and good for you. I'm literally so proud of you, pal 3, and I know you're proud of yourself. But if you haven't given yourself a pat recently on the back, pal 3, this is a really good time for you to do that. So while I'm finished shuffling, just pat yourself on the back. Say I did that. Is there any more cards in here? No. Okay. All right. So we have the snake card, and I'm using the Grandma Baby's Lenormand. And so the card we put for you is Snake, and it's called Discernment. Who decided the snake was a trickster and a devil? Who gets the power to tell our stories? Before our indigenous culture was demonized, before it was forced on the ground to protect us from violence, ancestors were thriving by it for thousands of years. In reuniting with our loving ancestors, we gain clarity about shame, that was never ours to carry. We get to hear their stories as they were meant to be told. Genuinely, this card asks, are you a threat or are they threatened? Mm-hmm. Knowing someone somewhere benefits from your shame asks, who is benefiting from yours? Who stands to gain from your disempowerment? And how have you become complicit in their cruel design? This journey of unlearning is long, but be willing to see it through to the end, not just until it's convenient for you. If you're committed to shedding programming that isn't rooted in liberation, shed it all. I read that part that are you a threat or are they threatened? What I really love about that is because this powerful energy you have that can't be fucked with, you are a threat. Let's just put that down here. You are a threat, but you're not moving from that place of where you're just out here doing anything you want to. You're not you know what I mean. You're not out here just like I'm gonna go do a work on somebody because it's Tuesday and at 3 p.m. and I'm bored. It's if people come to you that needs something done, that needs a a healer that moves as a warrior, that's who you are. So yeah, you are a threat to be reckoned with, but sometimes you're moving and like you don't outwardly show that, right? People don't know that you're a snake in the grass until they step on you and they get bit. So there are some people who are threatened by you and you hadn't done a damn thing to them. But then when you do, they do a damn thing to you because they're too busy moving from fear. You show them why the threat was true. You are definitely the type of person like you are not the type of person that starts shit, but you finish it. So anyone who starts stuff, you're finishing it. Baby, you got a jar right now with somebody's name on it. They'll be a lot nicer to you and to your loved ones, right? You right now you got some work to a deity that is sitting on an altar right now, being flourished upon, because somebody somewhere, um, you know, looked at someone you loved a little bit too funny, right? They moved a little too funny, and now they're gonna move even funnier. So you are a threat to people, but only when you're pushed to do that, when you're pushed to be a threat. And I think what we're talking about in the grander scheme of things, of not just in your personal life, but moving forward in how we show up for our community. I think this is a really important, like you are really set. Make sure if you're not, make sure you put yourself in your places where you can stand up for your communities. You don't have to be, and for honestly, you guys are not meant to be um, at the front lines because as you're healing warriors, but you're not the warriors. So and what I mean by that is the warriors, the ones who are actually meant to fight, they're going to be in the front lines doing the shit. You're the ones behind the scenes, right? Like you're the ones chewing on the roots, if that makes sense. You're the ones who working in the shadows. Like again, that whole snake in the grass metaphor. Um, you're not seen until you need to be seen. And so there are people who you may, like, even if you have a large social media following, people don't know what you're doing because your social media following has nothing to do with what your gift is. And you're not even connecting the two. Like your social media could be, you can be a content creator that does makeup or cosplay. And nobody will know that behind the scenes, you got this shit brewing because that's not meant for them to know. That is when it's time for something to get done, you are the one to do the work. So yes, you are a threat. And yes, they are threatened. But only when it's called for. You're only a threat when it's time for you to stand up and threaten them. So that's Yeah, again, that's why I was like, woe be to anyone who tries to um fuck with those in your life that you love and that you're devoted to. That level of devotion you have is so strong, so deep. It's rooted. I'll dare say ancestral. It's so deeply ingrained within you. Let's see. Is there another card in here? I'm pulling from the African Goddess Rising Oracle. And so far, I got one card. I think there may be another one in here. Yeah, I feel like that devotion you have, you're so devoted to your beliefs, to your faith, to your morals, to ooh ooh. So many fail, but it's oh my goodness. Oh, I love those two that came out for you. Yeah, you're so devoted to your beliefs, to your morals, to um who you are as a person, who you are in your community, who you are in your family, who you are to everyone around you. Like, again, like people bother you at their own peril. People bother you at their own peril. You're not out here trying to physically cause harm, but if push comes to shove, if push comes to shove, you're not afraid to meet the need, and that's what's so wonderful about you, pal. Three, you know your limits. You know where you are. You know where you need to be. You are where you are. You are where you need to be. And my God, like I said, you're the acclamation of God. I can't speak English anymore. Of the energy of the first two pals. You're where those two pals can end up once they get on your level, so to speak. So the two cards I pulled for you is Nagami Desire and Tanit Pleasure. Love those cards for you, just like in general. So let's read from the book. Nagami is the goddess of desire. She says, dream bigger. Puny desires constrict you. Your desires create your life, so allow them to flow boldly. Embodiment. What do you really desire? Get specific. See it, smell it, feel it. Call it in now. What you desire desires you. Does your desire flow from love or fear? Manifestations that come from fear based desires keep you safe and small. Desires that come from your soul expand your world. Her goddess declaration is, what I desire desires me. And Tanit, the goddess of pleasure, reads, you are thirsty for more pleasure. You can't thrive when life feels dry. You are made of laughter and stardust, not sawdust. Pleasure is your birthright, a gift from the universe. Her embodiment reads, how much juicy pleasure can you stand? Turn up the pleasure principle. You secretly feel that you don't deserve it, but pleasure is a healing and manifesting force. Laughing, loving, and orgasmic joy is holy. Hold your hands over your reproductive area and say aloud, I deserve pleasure. Her goddess declaration, it feels good to feel good. I kind of love that for you guys because um, I feel like those are kind of like rewards for the place that you're in. Um, Not to say that anybody else don't deserve to be rewarded with these things, but I mean just like for yourself, that you feel that you might sometimes question the need to feel that desire or pleasure. Not that you get desire or pleasure from like the work that you do, but like because you're so serious about this work, is that sometimes you may not always take a break for yourself. You may not always um, allow yourself to feel and embrace um, the full joyness of life, or maybe you do, and maybe there's something in you that decide that's kind of like should you be focused on one more than the other? Like, can I be a healer, but also engage in this stuff where my like can I be a healer and enjoy living the pleasures of life? Can I, because the nature of your work is so warrior specific, so specific on being those type of things. Oh, I also love that for the devotion card and for the two oracle cards I just pulled, the color is purple. Purple is the color of royalty usually, but purple and gold. And I love that those are because the colors of your card are yellow and tarot blue, and then you have purple, and you have also have gold in the Lenormand, of course. So there's a very glittery royalty, very, when we're talking about devotion, don't neglect devoting yourself as well. And I'm pretty sure this is something that you doesn't don't really need to be told, but this is just a confirmation for you, because this whole reading is just a confirmation for you. So take that time to decipher what your pleasures are, what your desires are. Go after those things. Call those things that you don't always, the work you have to do don't always have to be in this type of way. You can also heal yourself by by allowing yourself to receive those pleasures, receive those joys that you oftentimes, um, that sometimes come secondary. It's okay to, in some aspects, take a moment to, if there's a work that you're doing for someone else, do work for yourself as well, is what I'm saying. Um, how do you heal your sacral chakra? How do you heal those desires, that creativity, that sexual desire, that tantric desire, that that need in you that exists outside of the perception of people have of you, the work that you're doing? How do you feed until what your spirit and your body needs in communication? um, I feel like that's going to be really important for you, because um, I think those things really help fuel, like it really provides the necessary energy for you to continue to do this work. You know, this it's really important that when you really focus on those things that motivate you, you can devote yourself even more to this calling, to this gift that what you have. Um, does that make sense, Power Three? I hope that makes sense. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. It's like, don't be afraid to um, really allow yourself to feel the joys of life. You don't always have to be in warrior mode, because the warrior mode matters according to what you're fighting for. And you are one of the things you should also be fighting for too. You may already know this. So, again, like I said, confirmation. So, if you just need an extra additional confirmation, there you go. Ah! And finally, I'm going to end off with some affirmation cards. So let's end up, I mean, affirmation reading and a reading that's pretty much all affirmation is hilarious. So, so let's see. All right, give me some affirmation cards for. Oh, okay, okay, all right. I have all that I seek is already within me. Love that. I give myself the care and attention I need to thrive. Love that. Those definitely go hand in hand with the oracle cards we just had for desire and pleasure. So yeah, everything you need is already within you, and it's already waiting for you. Like the desire card said, everything that I desire desires me. It's already there for you. So if there's any point in time, a moment where you need to take back and reset your energy, and you will. All healers do. Just know that everything that you want, everything that you desire, is already there for you. It's already um, set up for you to just care for yourself. Because the devotion you've I said it in PAL 2, I think, maybe PAL 1. This Natajoki Shang quote um, um, that goes, my love is too sanctified to have thrown back on my face. It's a part of a longer quote from her choreo poem for color girls, but that's what it is for you too. I think your love, your devotion is too sanctified, it's too good, it's too holy, it's too powerful to ever go be thrown back on your face. It's all, everything that you take care of and pay forward to is being returned to you in abundance. So anything that you take the time to manifest, to show or to care, It's already been done for you. And the last card that I have for you guys is I am discerning. I love myself enough to say no to people and situations that don't serve my highest good. I love this for you because I feel like this is also very crucial for you guys too. You guys are very good about setting your boundaries, setting your sights, knowing what you want and your desires. So power three, this is all I'm having, all I'm seeing for you guys. Like I said, short reading. Doesn't anything else I say on here is just going to be a bunch of me repeating the same things over and over again. You guys got this. You of all readings, you guys have this the most. I am very proud of you guys. I hope you're very proud of yourselves. I want to thank Great Spirit, my ancestors and guys, your ancestors and guys for showing up in this reading. And most importantly, I want to thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for allowing me to do this reading. I pray this reading gives you, the confirmations that you are looking for, the love, support, and guidance that you need. Thank you again for coming to this reading. And I hope to see you in the next one. Power 3, you guys are chef kiss. I want to be like you when I grow up. Thank you for showing up to this reading, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.